Hello and welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Fara Sax. Before I get started, I'd just like to thank Julian Chang today for all the wardrobe provided to me during my time on camera. Thank you so much, Julian. I would also like to welcome EdFed, the Educational Federal Credit Union, back into the studio. This isn't your first rodeo, right? Joined today by Michael Aubrey, who is EdFed Senior Vice President of Lending, and Dania Nunez, EdFed Home Loans Sales Manager. In addition, we have two new faces with me today is Denise Talboy, who is the Vice President of Global Relocation and Corporate Services for Kai's Realty, and Stephen Montefiore, who is a realtor with Kai's Realty. Thank you all for joining me today. We have a great show because I'm going to learn about a new program that EdFed is launching in our community. So buying a house in South Florida can feel a bit overwhelming for many buyers. You hear this probably day in and day out. And with the low interest rates and a new program from EdFed may provide welcome relief to many individuals who are asking, is this my year 2026 to buy a new home? Michael, welcome back to the studio. Like I said earlier, this is your third time with me, and it's a pleasure always to see you and to meet up with you on set. EdFed has merged as a major mortgage lender in our community. What is the state of the real estate market right now in South Florida? And is 2026 a good year for home buying and selling as well?
Yes, it is. And not only that, but refinancing. It just depends on your needs and your affordability of really what you're looking for. But rates are much more competitive. We have competitive programs at EdFed, and we have something that fits pretty much everyone.
That's great. And speaking with affordability, what should home buyers be thinking about before taking the first steps for searching for a new home?
Well, that is the key word right now is affordability. There are a lot of people that are hesitant and try to play like the stock market and try to figure what's going on and outguess it. The reality is that you need to partner with our mortgage specialist representatives, get pre-qualified, show them your complete financial picture. And with that, whether it be refinance, purchase, they'll be able to help you and give you options that fit your budget. And, people think it's all about interest rate. While we do have many attractive rates, it's about the payment. Can you afford it? So that's where the affordability comes in. And what we did is we created the Home Concierge Program so that we can go ahead and partner with realtors and get them to assist. So it's one-stop shop.
That's really, really exciting. And more products and services that you offer for a community. It's so helpful, especially during these times. So great hats off to EdFed for doing this. I'd like to bring you in, Stephen. You are one of the guests partnering with EdFed for the Homebuyer Concierge Program as an agent working with buyers in the field every day. What housing trends are you seeing right now? And again, is 2026 a year that you will see more deals for buyers looking to purchase new homes?
That's a great question. So basically, what we're seeing in 2026 is a market that is becoming balanced compared to the last couple of years. Inventory has started to rise in many areas, which is giving buyers more choices. They basically more choices for negotiating power, and they also during the seller's market. Anyway, prices in South Florida remain strong overall. Demand to live here continues to be very high, but we are seeing some homes stay in the market longer, especially in they're priced too aggressively. So that creates opportunities for buyers to negotiate prices, of course, repairs or seller's concessions.
And what I'm seeing is, or what the market is seeing, is that many buyers are staying on the sidelines. They're waiting, maybe it's uncertainty about the economy, about interest rates, and the lack of affordable inventory, which seems to be very key for a lot of people. What would you say to buyers who are trying to decide whether or not now is the right time to join the market?
So one thing I always tell buyers is to focus on the long-term perspective. Real estate has always moved in cycles, and so have interest rates. So trying to perfectly, make the market, it's very hard to test the market, extremely difficult. What matters most here is what someone is financially ready to buy and whether their home fits the long-term goals. If interest rates improve in the future, buyers always have the opportunity to refinance. But if home prices continue to rise over year, waiting can sometimes make the purchase more expensive later, what's happening now.
And how long have you been a realtor?
I've been a realtor for 17 years with the Kais company.
So you actually see a lot of dips and ups and downs, and that's a normal progression in that kind of market. Is that not right?
Yes, that is correct.
And can you walk us through what the market currently looks like? I guess depending on the price point. For example, what are you seeing in terms of the average prices? I guess it has to do with location and how long the house has been on the market. But I would imagine there might be a difference based on a price point and a location. Mm-hmm. Correct?
So yes, there are definitely differences on price points, of course. So in Miami-Dade, homes under $700,000 tend to move fairly quickly. They're under contract within about 15 to 30 days. Now, in the mid-range, roughly between 7 to 1.5, the market a bit more balanced.
What does that mean? What does that mean it's balanced?
Well, properties aren't going so quickly. So their buyers have more choices, homes take longer to close, and they have actually negotiating power. Geography also plays a role. Areas like Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, Pinecrest, waterfront communities often maintain strong demand, limited supply, and of course, lifestyle appeal.
And if someone in our audience is looking to buy a home right now, what steps should they take to start preparing?
So the first step is getting pre-approved with EdFed. Take advantage of programs such as EdFed Homebuyer Concierge Program, which can be extremely helpful for a buyer or even a seller. Buyers should also review their budget, their credit profile, and their monthly payments so they feel comfortable, so they clearly understand what price range works for them. The next step is working with an experienced professional, including a knowledgeable real advisor like myself and a trusted lender like EdFed. You can guide through financing options, down payment programs, and of course, different interest rate scenarios.
And we talked about negotiating power you brought up. How does it differ possibly from a couple of years ago?
So yes, in certain situations, buyers definitely have more negotiating power than they did during the peak of the market. So homes that have been on the market for several weeks or months often present opportunities to negotiate price, request repairs, or even ask for seller credits. We are also seeing some opportunities with houses that need updates. For investors or buyers, they really get a deal if they're willing to put in the work. Another factor is with more inventory available, buyers have the ability to compare properties and be more informed decisions rather than just feeling rushed into bid wars. So it's a lot easier.
And that's really great advice. And what also brings me to talk about is it's always the condo market in South Florida. And what are some of the challenges for buyers who are purchasing a condo, let's say today, and different than a single family home?
So the condo market has been going through some adjustments, especially after the new safety regulations implemented in Florida. So many buildings are now completing structural inspections.
Are we talking about the 50
30,
year
40, 50.
recertification?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to keep reserve funds, which is the new law. So as a result, some associations are implementing special assessments and of course increasing the HOA fees just to make that building financially sound. Buyers also need to pay close attention to financing requirements. Lenders have guidelines for certain condo buildings, depending on reserves, insurance coverage, and of course, maintenance issues.
And if somebody's considering buying a condo, what are some of the most important things they should review or ask about before they submit an offer? Because there's a lot of documents for the condos and their HOAs and
there is.
Give us the inside scoop.
So there are several important things buyers need to review. First of all, they should look at the association's financial reserves and basically see whether this building is sufficient and have funds set aside for repairs, number one. Second, it's important to review the HOA fees and determine exactly what's included with those fees. Buyers should also ask whether there are any upcoming special assessments or pending assessments. Very important. Another key is reviewing the building's recent inspections to see how the building is, to understand the condition of the building. And finally, buyers should confirm the building's insurance coverage and lender eligibility to ensure financing will take place. Now, working with experienced professionals can help buyers review these documents and make a solid commitment.
So how does this differ for the condo market from the single-family home, which doesn't have all this other verbiage and paperwork and you tell me, the HOAs and...
So there are definitely some differences, right? So single-family homes remain, of course, very desirable, typically often because privacy, land, flexibility, and most importantly, they don't have association fees like these condos do. Because of that, single-family homes are in desirable neighborhoods have remained relatively strong, and demand is pricing stays strong. Now, the months of inventory for single-family homes is 6.2, and that is 19.2% from last year. So we're going into a deeper buyer's market.
So what does that mean? Can you break that down, what that actually means?
Sure. So basically, depending on the months of inventory, if it's 1 to 3 months, it's a seller's market. If it's 3 to 6 months, it's a balanced market. And if it's 6 plus, it's a buyer's market.
So in other words, if the inventory stays from the day that the home was or condo was listed, that deems where we are on this pendulum swing of...
Of course, and that depends on how much inventory is available.
So today, as of today, in March?
Today, it's 6.2 months for single-family homes.
So that's a balance. That's considered balance.
We're just getting into the buyer's market.
So in other words, you can get a better deal, possibly, if the inventory has been showcased longer.
Of course.
And then the sellers get a little nervous.
Yes.
And then here we go again, right?
So on the condo market, it's experienced more adjustments due to the new regulations, right? There's insurance costs, association finance reviews. There's really a lot more negotiating opportunities. The month of supply is 13.2 in that market, which is basically 18.9% over from last year. So again, it's just getting worse. Last year was only 11.6 at this time.
Interesting. And it's been this way for many, many years, the condo market being a saturated market.
Well, it really kicked off after the collapse in Surfside. And when that happened, all the new regulations came in place. And then once they came into place this year, all the condos have to, be with that. It's very hard. So HOAs have gone very high, things like that.
That's in time for another interview talking about that as well, but I'll stay on point. So in South Florida, what neighborhoods are the hot neighborhoods? Where are most people looking? People are buying in price points, people buying in locations?
Of course, so buyers continue to show strong interest in neighborhoods that offer a combination of lifestyle, schools, and of course, accessibility. Areas such as Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay are very popular with families because of neighborhoods, parks, and A-plus schools. South Florida as a whole continues to attract buyers. And remember, from other states due to 3 things: lifestyle, tax advantage, and of course, our climate.
Absolutely. Beautiful climate. And what is the biggest misconception people have about today buying a home in today's market?
So there's a few, but I would say one of the biggest one is that you need to have 20% down to purchase a home. And that's just not the reality. The reality is that there are many loan programs that allow buyers to purchase with such a smaller down payment.
I really appreciate all these insights, and we can go on and on. We only have a half an hour, but thank you so much for the insights because it's very, very important. Thank you so much, Stephen. Clearly, buyers must consider the factors in today's markets. Michael, let's hear more about EdFed's new Homebuyer Concierge Program, what it is, and how it helps simplify the home buying process for home buyers.
Well, we partnered with companies like Kai's and created this program, the Home Concierge Program, to take the stress out of home buying. And it's definitely from application to closing and keys of the home. It's a very overwhelming experience. It's one of the top stressful ordeals in someone's life usually is to buy a home. They need financial counseling and guidance. That's where we come in, and Stephen had mentioned earlier, to get pre-qualified. We meet with the potential buyer. We go through their budget, as he mentioned. We make sure and cover the affordability. And you were talking about some of the hidden fees. We also explain that to them, and make sure that they get all of what's involved in the monthly payment. It's more than just that payment. It's the upkeep of the home and all. But again, we take the stress out of that and then partner them with the realtor, and then they help and show them around and help them find their dream home based on what they can afford.
And some of the other things is you can save thousands for home buyers. Tell me a little bit more about that, because that would really perk my interest if I was a viewer today.
Well, as you know, EdFed's a not-for-profit organization, okay? And with us, we're all about give back and value add. That's what doing business with a credit union's all about. We already have cashback offers on our home loans and on our home equity loans, but this partnership now allows a rebate with the realtor fee going towards a closing credit, and it can save home buyers thousands of dollars. I mean, on a $600,000 house, Stephen and I figured out we're somewhere in the neighborhood of about $5,000 in credit at closing, which is fantastic.
That is a lot of money with this partnership that you work together with.
It's a great value add, and we're a value proposition, and the partnership lends itself to that. And you have the financial professionals partnered with the real estate sales professionals, and together it's truly a comforting home buying experience and take the stress out of it.
And you do, with all your programs, you like that. You like to bring a chillax feeling when people are either buying cars, homes, and that's such a brilliant feeling for people that are in that market that want to reach out, and that you have their back, EdFed. You have their back.
Well, I'll tell you part of the reason of that is as I mentioned, we're not for profit. So we don't have shareholders, okay? Our shareholders are our members. Our employees are members. So we're members serving members. So we do have that heartfelt vested interest at helping our members. It's our passion to create value add and give back and educate. That's why we're Educational Federal. Our goal is to educate our members and their experiences of what they go through and get full information, such as Stephen advised. And that's why we partnered with groups like this. They do that on their end as well. They make sure that they fully understand what they're getting into.
Thank you so much. I appreciate just talking a little bit more about the heart of the organization and what the credit union does. Thank you for being patient, Anya. You work so closely with buyers as they begin their home buying process, and then it comes to apply for a loan. Walk us through what that Homebuyer Concierge Program does from start to finish, and how you hold the hands of your buyers.
So that's exactly what we do. We do guide the member from beginning to end when it comes to this process. So the first thing we look at is we start with the connecting of the member with one of our home loan specialists that are at EdFed that's going to help them get pre-qualified so that they can be or stay within that budget of purchasing this home. Now, once the member is pre-qualified, we go ahead and introduce them to one of our partner agents, such as Kai's, that's going to participate in this Homebuyer Concierge Program that's going to help them, guide them to purchase this dream home to stay within that budget. Now, our home loan specialists stay in connection with the member, with the agent throughout this entire process, holding their hand. We want to make sure we walk them through the process from beginning to end to make sure that this is an easy, smooth transaction. Now, one of the best parts, as you mentioned before, is that we've got this great cashback program, and we do offer up to $1,000 cashback in closing costs, as well as 25% of the buying agent's commission that does get credited to the member. And as Michael stated before, this can amount to thousands of dollars when it comes to time of closing. So this is a fantastic program for members to join, for anyone who's looking to purchase or refinance a home. I mean, we're doing some fantastic things in the community. So we'd love for members to come on and, buy at EdFed, visit our home loan department. We'd certainly love to meet with many of them.
But you work together. It doesn't have to be just the homes that might be listed with Kai's. You work with all brokers that come together, but you are helping with launching this program with EdFed.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make that clear. Michael, what makes this program different from traditional buying experiences that you've talked about, but something that we might not have touched upon yet?
Again, it's the concierge part. That's the key. We have an auto buying program that has concierge service, and we've come and talked to you before on the show about that.
3 times.
And yes, we have, and enjoy every time. But we wanted to go ahead and create the same experience in the home buying. I mean, that's your largest investment, really, when you think about it. And again, it is very stressful. It's stressful enough to buy an automobile. And in today's times, I think we talked all throughout this program about affordability. We want to reduce the stress and show our members and the purchasers and all how to take, it stride and afford the home without the pressure. And there's already enough life pressures, let alone buying a house. And add that on top of it, and you're just super stressed out.
Mm-hmm. And now a big part of this program's success is this partnership between EdFed and the realtors who are supporting this program, i.e. you guys at Kai's. Denise, what role does the Kai's company play in the Home Buyer Concierge Program?
So we have we have over 5,000 realtors, and there's many more in our markets. But there's only a select group of Kai's realtors that are designated for this program. We pre-select an experienced realtor based on the buyer's parameters and location.
How many realtors are you in the program?
To give you an idea, there's 5,000 in the company. There's about 150 on my program, and there's even a smaller amount that we've dedicated to the EdFed Homebuyer Concierge Program.
Wow, and they all local? Does this program have to be in Miami?
No, they service 11 counties. Right?
We service 11 counties in Florida, and the program is extended nationally.
And you at EdFed also work out of county?
We work out of county. We work throughout the state of Florida.
Perfect.
Okay, that's
why it's a great match.
Absolutely. And in today's market, affordability and competition can be really challenging. Why is this program especially valuable to the buyers right now?
I think the obviously the benefits of the cashback and then the rebate that we're providing is important. But I also think that what's really most important is the high-touch care that both of our organizations are used to providing all our clients, and the customer service that we're willing to provide. For any transaction to be successful, we feel that the mortgage professional and the realtor must be in touch regularly because things do come up. Real estate is not perfect. So I think if that communication, then it really does make it a smooth transaction.
And one of the standouts from this program is what I'm able to glean is the rebate program and how members, what'd you say?
I love the rebate.
It's so funny that you're being asked this. So Denise, without further ado, tell me how the rebate works and how it helps these buyers during that transition for their home buying.
So we work with the team at EdFed to start speaking to the buyers. When the buyer goes under contract, we communicate with the designated title company to make sure that the 25% goes into the closing documents, which means that that amount is the closing costs that the buyer brings is less that amount. So they are saving significant money in using with the realtor that my team assigns. If he gave some numbers, which are pretty accurate, but if I'm going to get a little more specific, say out on a $450,000 property, since the rebate is based on commission and the price, if it's a low commission, because it can happen, you can probably go between $2,200 and $3,300 on a rebate at closing.
That is for the buyer.
For the buyer. Now, we also offer it on the listing side. So if somebody's selling, they get the rebate again. So we sometimes work with lenders that are helping somebody buy, but they're selling too. So they would get the rebate on the buy and on the sell.
Well, it seems like a no-brainer.
It is.
And you talk a lot about the concierge service and the concierge style of this program. What other types of services can members receive through the Home Buying Concierge Program?
So we wanted to do a little bit more than just the real estate transactions. So what we're partnering with EdFed on is not only helping them with once they can get under contract on a property, and we can get estimates of the homeowner's insurance, which is critical in our area. But we've taken it even a step further. If a buyer is narrowing it down to 2 properties, they don't know which one to make an offer on, we are able to get insurance quotes on both. So they have really the knowledge to make the offer on the property that they know they can afford, because it's not only the mortgage, it's also the insurance that we have to look at. So we want to make everything really as transparent as possible so it makes it a smooth transition for all.
And those that might not be familiar, Kai's has been around for many, many, many years. Well, Denise, we're just so simpatico today. So let's talk about the network of professional realtors that are connected with this program. It's amazing. So tell me more.
In general, for those of you who don't know Kai's, we are founded in 1926. This is our 100th year.
Wow.
And yes, we're making a big deal out of it in the community. It's also a family-run company. As big as we are, it's very much a family-run company. So our commitment, not only to the business, to real estate, but our commitment to the community is very important to us. We recently, as much as 2 weeks ago, participated in the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. As a company, we had over 300 people attend, realtors and leadership. And our commitment is really to the community. We want to benefit, and in each of our offices as well, we want to benefit the community we live in, not only help them with real estate.
And talk a little bit about that personal experience for these buyers.
So what we consider concierge level service isn't just helping in the real estate field. It's also hand-holding. It's also, we have the services of movers. If somebody needs that resource that have been vetted by our team, our relocation team, and our realtors, especially the ones that are designated for this program, know that they go the extra mile, not just to close that transaction, to help them in everything possible.
So, Michael, there's a webinar that's up and coming, and tell me a little bit about that so that people that want to get more information about home buying and to demystify this space, because it's a daunting task. It's very stressful, and breaking it down a little bit by having someone holding their hand on the lending side and the real estate side is astronomically important.
Well, we have our webinar on Saturday, March 21st at 11 a.m. And you can register online at edfed.org/homebuyer concierge. And we'll have Kai's on, and we'll have our EdFed professionals on to be able to explain the program like we're doing today and provide that guidance and live our mission and help our members achieve their financial dreams.
And those that want to get in touch before the webinar, talk about who do they contact? How do they get started? The information is for the webinar, but let's say I need a place tomorrow. I want to buy something tomorrow. That's the best kind of client, isn't it?
We love it.
Yeah. So what are the next steps? Do they call Kai's up? Is there a special opportunity there, or do they call?
They should start with the financial experts, which would be us at EdFed, and actually discuss what they're looking to achieve. What types of property, what areas they're looking at. And then what we do is we do a pre-qualification. And that's where we get the information, the financial information, and we understand what they can afford. We let them know what they can qualify for. Stephen mentioned earlier, I think a lot of people are under the misnomer they need 20% down. We have programs with as little as 3.5% down. And I think coupled with the concierge of insurance services, the professional financial advice, takes all the stress out. Then once we get them qualified, we give them a pre-qualification letter, and then Dania and her team go ahead and get with Denise and her team, and they refer over, depending on where the geography that Stephen had mentioned, is where then Denise will place with the appropriate home concierge realtor.
I wish I would have had this program 20 years ago when buying a house.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But you're here today, and I want to thank you for making it seamless for our community and offering so many resources. So it takes, again, the mystery out of home buying. Thank you
for having me.
And I want to thank you. And finally, I'd like to say, if you are interested in becoming a member of EdFed, you can join the more than 118,000 members who have saved and earned. Becoming a member is easy. Visit any of their 9 branch locations, including a location in Broward County, located in the Miramar Park Place Shopping Center, located at the intersection of Miramar Parkway and Red Road, and their newest location on the campus of Miami-Dade College North Campus. You can find a branch in the building, and you can visit edfed.org/join for more information about all the benefits that EdFed membership have for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Fara Sax. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great day, and they'll take care of you too.